we usually use in here, but 2 of them are our main ones. This one's the Piranha. It's for, we use this one for certifications and cutting metal. Well, straight metal that we just weld on. That is a big thing that always gets used. You have to be trusted in this class to be using that, because that is a big hazard. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get yourself hurt, and it's pretty powerful. That thing back there is our Tiger. Any kind of angle, it'll cut the metal. That's also a thing we use for certifications. Right now, he's cutting a T. That's like this right here, showing if you could do your correction on your certification. This is our cutting booth. We use that whenever we need to cut metal, do anything with metal. That's also going to be one of the places you're at all the time. If you go from your booth to your cutting table, you do not have to cool your metal, but I advise if you're about to go from your booth to show somebody your metal and then cut it, please cool it down, because our teacher does like to touch the metal and see what you've been doing. So please, if you're going to show anybody or do anything with your metal other than cool it or cut it, please cool it. We have certifications in this class, MIG and TIG. That is a MIG certification. Me and him are both certified MIG welders. You can get very good things in this class when you're certified. He'll talk to you about certifications and other stuff.
So once you get your certifications in like MIG and TIG and stuff, you can actually go to Matulsa, which will come your 3rd trimester of your senior year. If you don't want to be here at school, you can go up to Matulsa, work there, make anywhere from 18 to 22 an hour working.
Today we're going to talk to you guys about something we offer here at EC3 called the Academy.
Got a picture.
This picture here is a picture of all students that are currently enrolled into the Academy today. There's about 70 or so students that we have enrolled, but there's 100 total slots open. And what I mean by 100 total slots is from all the surrounding high schools except E-Town, there's 100 applications total for anybody to get in. And so it's, as you can imagine, it's pretty hard. You know, there's 2,000 students at Central alone. So getting into the Academy is probably, in my opinion, the hardest part about it.
So we have 2 staff sort of sponsors, so to speak. They help bridge the gap between transitioning from your high school to this more college environment. On the far right, you'll see Mr. Ernst. That is one of our newer, I think this is his first year. Yeah. The far left, where my pointer is, that's Miss Alford. They're very helpful people. If you have any questions, you can talk to them. If they don't know the answer, they will find the answer for you. And they help make it a smoother transition from this high school environment to the more college environment. What do I mean by that? In the Academy, you have more of a sense of autonomy. There's not anybody really looming over your shoulder telling you to get this work done. It's your personal responsibility to do so. And personally, I prefer that. I don't want people constantly harping at me, get your work done, get your work done, get your work done. I want to work at my own pace. And a typical day, so to speak, is much simpler than a high school one. At your home high school, you have 5 classes every single day, no time for breaks, no rests at all. At the Academy, you have 2 classes a day. And between that, there's like 10 or so minutes between those classes. And then on Fridays, you don't have any classes at all normally. So that time between the classes, though, it's not necessarily lounge time. It can be if you have all your work done, but if you don't have your work done, get it done. You will need the extra time. It's not easy. It's more difficult than a high school class.
For sure.
This is the aviation pathway at EC3. This is a course that focuses mainly on flying drones and learning the operations behind the drones. So you get your license to fly drones commercially, and then you also, your senior year, you get college credit for taking classes through EKU. Your freshman and sophomore years through the course will be similar. One of them, you focus on history and science, like the science that keeps the drones and airplanes in the air, and the history behind how people discovered how to fly. You learn the different types of airplanes and drones, the difference between UAVs and regular airplanes. Your junior year, you do a lot of studying the laws and the regulations behind the drones. And junior year is when you take the test. You go up to Louisville, take the test, and get the license. And then your senior year, you take the dual credit courses through EKU. And there's 2 of them. One of them is aviation history. It's very easy. It's basically a repeat of your freshman year because you're just going more in depth on the names in history. Then your second semester is aviation. I think it's UAV. I don't know. I'm about to take it, so I haven't experienced it, but there's a second dual credit class you take, so you end up with 6 hours of college credit. So you end up saving a little bit of money if you plan on going to college. You also retake the test to get recertified because it's a 2-year certification. And then after high school, you have everything you need to get a job flying drones for a living, because all you need is that little certification. And as long as you keep retaking the test to get recertified, you can make, I think the most jobs offer about $50 an hour flying the drones. Throughout your freshman and sophomore years, there are multiple projects you will do to help you understand the science and operations of the systems. My freshman year, we made hot air balloons. And then throughout all 4 years taking the class, you will spend your free time flying the drones and working on just being able to fly a drone without crashing it. And we use only the nice drones. We have all of our drones are DJI except for these little competition drones that we use. That I'll tell you about the competition in a bit. We have the DJI drones ranging from the Mini to the Phantom, which is the largest one they have. And then we just recently got the Avata, which is a FPV drone. So you use the goggles and you get to see what it sees when you fly it. And that one, goes very fast. We have competitions every year. We just started them last year using these little drones, where using this plastic stuff behind you and right here, we fly around and complete various tasks through, and you're scored based on how well you do the tasks and how quickly you do them. And they're trying to make it kind of like a sport similar to VEX. Right now, we are the only school that does it, so we had the top 3 teams at state last year.
Okay, so your freshman year, you'll be doing a lot of 3D modeling on computers and using notebooks to document different things.
There you'll learn, in freshman year, you're basically being introduced to what engineering is. So if you guys look behind you, you guys will be introduced to define the problem, and you'll be working through your steps towards that and how you can apply that to all the types of problems that you come across. So in doing so, you guys will learn how to document all your work. So engineers have to write down everything that they do so they can prove that their work is theirs. So you'll learn how to properly do that and just learn how to, basically freshman year, it's a basic understanding of math and science. So it's nothing too difficult, something everyone can do. If you don't get a 100 in that class, that's literally because you guys didn't turn in your work. So it's very easy to do.
Yeah. So your sophomore year, you'll be doing a lot more hands-on stuff, a lot more hands-on projects. You'll be applying the stuff that you learned your freshman year, like design process, stuff like that. You'll be designing your own stuff. One of the first projects that we do in that class is we call it a breadboard. So we get this thing right here. It basically is a basic understanding of how circuits work, what circuits do. It really shows, what an electrical engineer would look into, a lot more computer stuff. After that, we do something called a balsa wood bridge. So we get these thin little pieces of wood, we glue them together, we test the strength of it. It really shows, like a civil engineering aspect of engineering, civil engineers that build stuff like, the roads here, this building that we're in, highways, interstates, all sorts of stuff. They're really, important to our society, civil engineers are. But after that, the final project that you do your sophomore year is we call it a marble sorter. So from scratch, we built this robot, programmed it, and without any sort of external help, it sends these marbles down and sorts them all by itself. It's really fun. Shows like mechanical engineering, that sort of stuff, because mechanical engineers, they build stuff from scratch. They have to use design processes, brainstorming, all sorts of stuff. They try to find solutions to problems. It's really fun. Really shows that sort of aspect.
Okay, so junior year, you guys will be here, and junior year is like a mix of freshman year and sophomore year combined. So the first trimester that you guys are here, again, you guys will get the introduction of what you'll be doing, but also you guys will carry on your CAD stuff that you guys learned freshman year. So you'll take an Autodesk Inventor Certification Test, meaning, well, if you pass, that means you'll get a medallion when you graduate, but also your picture will be up on the wall in the hallway out there. And then the second part of junior year, you guys will do a lot more projects, a lot more hands-on work. So the first thing you guys will do that's big is learning how to solder. So you'll take this and solder the back of a circuit board. So the whole goal is to make sure that this works. And if it doesn't, you guys have to take it apart, it's a struggle.
Okay, so your senior year, you have a lot more options of the engineering classes you can take. Over here, you can see that you're going to major in mechanical, electrical, or civil engineering. You can major in all of them, or as many as you want. The mechanical class, you'll have to take the EDD capstone and mechanical class. The mechanical class, you'll be doing a lot of computer-aided manufacturing, like with the CNC machine or working with your hands a lot more. The EDD capstone class, it's actually this class right here. And in that class, we find a problem and we go at different ways of trying to fix that problem by researching different ways other people have done it. So this is our project that we're working on now. The problem was that water ball is taking up too much space, so we made a water bottle that would fold.
Yeah. So our idea with that is there's 2 3D printers on that back wall over there. We're allowed to use them to help with prototyping, stuff like that. Once we get through that, sort of stage, we're going to try and use silicone, make it rubber, make it actually used for consumers, for people to be able to buy, use, be able to test it out actually and see how good of a product it actually is.
The other class you can take is civil engineering. In that class, you'll be doing a bunch of houses or bridges, and it's going to be more of like the structural integrity of different things.
So a great alternative to taking this capstone class, which is a requirement to finish your engineering, you get the option to co-op. So you might be able to co-op your your senior year, but if you co-op through the school for this class, you're basically being paid to take this class, but you get to work longer hours. I would say what's so great about co-oping through the school is that it's just during school hours. So while everyone's working from like 5 to 11 at night, you guys just get to work from 8 to 3, and you get better pay. But also, while this happened during winter break, while all my friends were working holidays, working weekends, I just got to stay at home and enjoy my break. I would highly recommend co-oping too, because you'll not only get the hands-on experience, but you guys will build great soft skills, which is needed for your jobs in the future.
One of the other things you can do with engineering is Vex Robotics. So you can join the Vex Robotics Club your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year throughout all of high school. But the class you can specifically take, you put it as one of your classes your junior and senior year. You'll come here and basically do Vex Robotics. And what Vex Robotics is there's a game this year where, there's hoops, and it's like disc golf. You have to try and get the discs in the hoops. Every year it's a different game. You have to go through different strategies, different design processes with different robots. Let's see, there's past robots over there that have, gone to world championships. They're really good robots. All these awards around the room that we've won throughout the years, all these, banners, they're just made from, Vex Robotics. Vex Robotics involves, there's like a designer, a builder. I like to do a lot of computer programming because you have to program the robot, make it move, stuff like that. Like she was mentioning earlier, with the notebook, you have to notebook and design, the whole robot, talk about the entire process of stuff like that. Vex Robotics is really fun and it's really enjoyable.
If you liked one aspect of engineering, Vex Robotics is a great way to explore one type that you like. So let's say if you don't like the math or science aspect, but you like the design, you can be the designer or the builder. You don't have to do everything. So if you're not really big on the computer stuff, like the programming, you don't have to do that. So if you like playing video games too, you could be the driver. So there's all these aspects that you can choose that you want to focus on and still enjoy engineering, because it's not that intimidating. There's different roles that you guys can play into.
Don't be intimidated by engineering. You think of engineers, you think it's a lot of work. It's not that bad, guys. It does involve math and science, so you have to have some sort of basic understanding of that. But besides that, it's really something you guys should at least look into and at least attempt. I think it's really enjoyable.
Does anybody want to drive the robot?
Do any of you like art? Any of you like art? Yeah? Okay, wow, okay. So if you like art and everything, I'm doing game design. There's game design here and there's networking here as well. There's a mix of two different classes. I like doing art for game design because I get to design my game on paper. And then right after, I'll go digital and I'll design it, everything in a software, so I can create the game, create how I want it to look, stuff like that. Anyone in here like math? No one in here likes math? No one? Okay. So if you like math or stuff like that, whether it's JavaScripting or C++ or different scripting languages or stuff like that, you could use the math skills. So if you are someone that likes trial and error, maybe it's science. I don't know. Like those two can be similar that way. Trial and error to try to get the answer you want, the solution. You can use that for scripting and stuff because sometimes you might not have an easy answer. Sometimes it can be like really hard to get the answer you're looking for. So that's something as well. Does anyone in here like English? Yeah? A few people. Okay, so if you like English, you can also apply that to scripting as well, because with scripting, you have to spell things very specifically. If you don't spell stuff very specifically, then you will have issues, you will have errors, stuff might not work right, or it might do something really weird and you don't want it to do. Okay, the next thing we're going to go over is the classes and courses. If you want to open your brochures up. Something I do want to talk about before going to classes, though, is that at your home high school, you will be taking digital literacy. It's the basic computer stuff and everything you need for computer science. It's the basics that you need to know. It might be named something else, but it's basically digital literacy. Then after that, you'll be able to come here to EC3 and take some of the courses that you're wanting. Though, if you take the AP, you go straight here. You don't have to take digital literacy. And you can earn money that way. You can earn $100 as well, do AP. There's separate courses and classes like computer programming, web development, information support and services, network administration, network security. So there's some different stuff you can do here. Something I also really like about this is the fact that it has different careers and how much money they can make, and to give you an idea and so how much you can make doing this. Who in here hates doing research? Yeah? Y'all hate doing research? Like, you have an assignment and you have to do all this different research. Normally when you're going for a job and stuff, you have to do a lot of research into what you want. But this way, it makes it where you have to do less research because it has all the information in here. So for some of the benefits and stuff is if you are a female or minority or even both, you are more likely to get the job because they are underrepresented in this pathway. So that's something that you can do. Also, for your certifications, if you want to get a job right after getting your certification here, or if you want to go to college after, your certifications here are free, but then after you're done with classes and everything, you have to you have to pay for your certifications. So I recommend if you were to try to get your certifications and stuff, you do it in class. Try to take advantage of the benefits and stuff. Of course, your jobs, take that all in mind.
What we do here in Media Arts is we work hand in hand with HCEC-TV, which is our district channel. All right, so we go out and about and film a bunch of different events. Anybody in here in band? Or in choir, in drama, in a sport? Any after-school curricular activities? So we are typically out and about filming. So the folks that are over here with the camera right now, they're filming this for our district channel. So we teach you in this class how to set up a camera, how to make sure that you have audio, that you can hear what's happening, that you can see what's happening, that you have the proper lighting. That's what we do. Any idea what this is?
It's a camera.
It does have a camera right here.
You can see it's a movie theater camera.
It's what?
A movie theater camera.
I said the answer good.
Oh, it's
A teleprompter.
It's a teleprompter. It is a teleprompter. So a teleprompter does what?
It tells you words to say.
It tells you what words to say and how fast or slow to say them, right? All right, who wants to come over here and run the teleprompter? You want to? All right. Hand that microphone to him. All right, so you're going to stand there. So here we got our guy there. You couple of people can come back here and take a look at the camera. Now we've got it.
Hello, I'm Seth Majeski, and I'm an 8th grader from Bluegrass, Mississippi. My group is touring the media arts pathway and learning how to use a teleprompter and a green screen.
So real fast before you all head out, what is this thing?
That's a green screen.
It's a green screen.
I thought I was done, and
What do you use a green screen for?
change the background.
To put things in the background and not be able to.
You can use it. You can use it for if you're doing the weather, right? If you're trying to put yourself in a different place.
We act like it's Star Wars.
So you would do that, right? You replace yourself. Now, something that you need with green screen is you have to get the background lit well enough that you can remove it. All right? Otherwise, all of your shadows, if you all seen the videos on TikTok, Instagram, and all that stuff where they're imposing themselves on it, but then you kind of see the background bleed through. Sometimes it looks weird. That's because if it's not well lit enough, or if a shadow, see how their shadows are coming up, all of that stuff is going to mess up your shot. So if you guys step forward, then what we would end up doing is trying to figure out how to get those shadows gone, right? You would have you'd have different lighting. This is just 3-point lighting right now. You would have some hanging up from the ceiling to try to come down on not just your face, but behind you, and that helps bleed all of that stuff out. That way, when you go in to change the background, you're able to pull it out really, really easily. All right, so that it's all in lighting and doing that.
Through this program, you are able to get your ASC certification. What that allows you to do is go work at dealerships to be a technician. The school pays for those tests. You do not have to pay anything to take them. Basically, as long as you study, keep up in the class, do what you're supposed to do, you can pass those tests pretty easily. Also, through this program, we are partnered with the Swope family of dealerships. So basically, once you pass your certification test, you can go through an entire hiring process, job application, interview, stuff like that, and you can work at the Swope family of dealerships for an internship. It's kind of like doing co-op, if you've talked about co-op at all. Basically, third trimester, if you do get accepted into that, it will replace one of your maintenance light repair classes, either it be in the morning or afternoon, and it'll work as basically like doing co-op. You'll go and work there, and if it's in the morning, then you'll go back to school, or if in the afternoon, you just go straight to work and work till whenever they have you scheduled. Even after you graduate, you can continue to work there. You do not, lose your job just because you graduated. You can continue to work there and go up the ranks, or you can quit and go to school, or you can transfer to another dealership. There's some options there too. Also, just kind of add on to this class, we don't just learn how to fix and work on things. We learn the service advisory side of it, how the whole system works, how parts sourcing, finding parts, stuff like that. We learn not just how to work on things, we learn all the other sides of it and how to do other things, because you're not always going to be fixing vehicles when you are in the automotive industry.
We do students' cars, whether it's our cars, your all's cars, or a student from another class. We can do those. We also do teachers' cars, whether it's from this school, John Hardin, North Hardin, Central Hardin, wherever it may be. And then we also do cars from customers that just hear about this place. Whether they have a friend that's a teacher here, we can also do their cars, whether it's a oil change, a brake job, or a engine replacement like this, or a transfer replacement like we have going on back there. And that's one thing about this class is that we're not always doing the same stuff. It's not always oil change, it's not always brake jobs. We go from big to small. Like we can do suspension work, whether it's ball joints, control arms, anything with your steering. We can do a rear differential and axle replacement, and we can do anything as big as a engine replacement. And one thing about this shop is that it's a very freedom-based class, you could say. Like we could have 5 or 6 projects going on in here, and he'll let you pick which project you want to work on. But which project you work on, you got to start and finish that project. You can't just start it one day then quit it. And that's another thing, that we have so many opportunities in here, whether it's with our alignment racks or our 2-post lifts over there, our tire machines, parts cleaners, or the AC chargers, battery chargers. We got so many opportunities that we can do in here. There's never a day where we don't have anything to do. We can go one day by testing the battery, testing the AC, checking all the tires, checking the oil, all that. And the next day we could get into the real work, whether it's taking the engine apart or taking the rear end apart. There's never a day that we're bored. That's just how this class is, and no matter what kind of day you're having, you can always come in here and you can turn a bad day into a good day or a good day into a better day. And you'll make friends in here, whether they're from Central, North, or John, because that's a good thing about this school is that Hardin County all come into this school if they have a pathway here. It's not just a John Hardin school or another Central school. It's a place where we all merge in together and we all can become friends.
Get to schedule patients, talk to patients, and a lot of insurance. There's a lot of legal things. And then you have EKG, heart rhythms, and then more. These are the electrodes. They go on your chest. And then you have a blood pressure arm. You can do blood pressure or the pulse. But before you can get in these classes, you do have to take prerequisites. You have your freshman year, Principles of Health Science, your sophomore year, medical term, and emergency procedures. Your junior year, you will take anatomy. And since you are Bluegrass, you will have to take it here if you go to John, but if you go to Central or North, they have it at their home high schools. And then, let's see, senior year, you can take your CNA or your admin, or you can take those classes your junior year. If you look over to the left, there are wheelchairs. You will transfer these residents to the wheelchair and back to the bed. This is your CNA class where you will do all that. This is also your med math class if you want to take it as a senior instead of taking a regular math class at your home high school. So right here, you have a little child where you can do the Heimlich. You put it in their mouth, and then you put your finger in their belly button, and then you do it, and it throws it right on up.
It's also paired, this class is paired with emergency procedures, so about halfway through we flip-flop. And emergency procedures is geared towards early recognition, treatment, and diagnosis of different emergency injuries, illnesses, whatever you may face.
This pathway has 4 classes. You start with Intro to Criminal Justice, Corrections, Law Enforcement, and Investigations. Investigations is only a senior class.
In Intro, you learn about the basics of the law. You learn about a lot of the terminology, the definitions, and the basic landmark cases that shaped our amendments and Bill of Rights and all that.
In your corrections class, you will learn a lot about the police officers, the inside of prisons, prison structures, where they originated from, and what goes on inside the prisons. There are 3 different types of prisons. You have a minimum, medium, and maximum. A minimum prison is where you keep people who commit white-collar crimes like tax fraud, don't pay their bills, anything like that. Your medium is where you keep in and out offenders with small felonies, misdemeanors, and your maximums are where you keep your most violent offenders. For example, serial killers, terrorists, Jeffrey Dahmer, for example, and Charles Manson.
In law enforcement, you learn how and what the police do and what they can and can't do, such as probable cause, reasonable doubt, all that. And then you learn about how your amendments come into, such as the 4th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, involving unreasonable searches and seizures, and not being able to self-incriminate you and double jeopardy and all that.